Hello, and welcome to the other half, where we talk about the other half, thus us women, as we approach the back half of our career. My name is Wendy Parrish, and in this series, I catch up with some of my fabulous friends who I've been lucky to cross paths with in my life to get advice and perspective on their career. A few things before we get started. We are live, so feel free to ask questions in the comments and we'll try to get to those as they come. And if you want to make sure to not miss an episode, please connect with me on LinkedIn. Today's show is a little different. You may have seen in the post because there's not one guest, but two. I'm so happy to have two of my college friends, Julie Renehan and Michelle Rooks, here today to share their experiences and very interesting stories. Let me unmute them and welcome them to the show. Hello, Julie and Michelle.
Hey there.
Thank you so much for coming. And look, I messed everything up. Hold on, I'm going to change it all up again. There we go. Michelle, could you start by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, of course. So I am a native Atlantan and was lucky enough to go to Vanderbilt and meet both of you. And my kind of second half career has been being the co-founder of a nonprofit called Daughters Against Alzheimer's, benefiting Alzheimer's and dementia research. I have three children. They're all grown and out of the house, so I can really dig into my career even more now. And that's about it for now. I'll let Julie roll into hers.
That's great. Julie, tell us a little bit about yourself and catch me up a little.
Sure. Rolling right in. Sorry, there goes my phone, of course. Sorry.
That's okay.
Right. Julie Renehan, I live in Chicago. Also have kids, went to WashU Law School, attorney for a period of time, and then stayed with kids for a long time. Decided I really kind of wanted to go hard with my law degree again, to do pro bono law, helping low-income people, and then I take public and on to the next level, and ran for a position on the DuPage County Board. We represent about 930,000 people, and have a budget of $405 million. So I'm sorry, dogs, phone. Hello.
You know what? It's real life, Julie. This is how we roll. This is what I like about this show. I make mistakes. It's all good. So you both have sort of made a little bit of a pivot in your career. Can you talk a little bit about what inspired you to make this pivot? Julie, you start first this time.
Okay, sure. I think a lot of it was timing. Like I said, I kind of ramped up more, doing more pro bono law, and was really liking that, and kind of getting back from that. And just like I said, wanted to take it to the next level. I realized I really liked helping people. That was a priority, more so than money for me. My kids were independent. I had the time. And then I got to say, I kind of got to go there. An outside influence, the election of 2016 impacted me, and who won and who didn't win. And been on the sidelines of politics for a long time. An election judge, became precinct committee woman, and kept volunteering more and more, and things were not going the way I wanted them to. So I decided, you know what, if not someone else, it's going to be me. So I decided to run for office. Our county's been a Republican county since its inception, 1839. I figured, what the heck, I'm going to try. I did not think I would win, but I thought I would try. And I ended up winning, and I'm the first Democrat that's ever won in this district, in this portion of this district ever. So that was the pivot. And that was really, it was outside influences more than really anything I can say.
You know what I love, Julie? I love how you just took the bull by the horns and was like, if no one else, I'm going to just do it. So good for you.
Well, I guess that's how it happened, right?
Okay, Michelle, talk a little bit about your sort of second half career.
Well, my mom was diagnosed with Alzheimer's in 2012, and as I watched her battle the disease, I started fundraising to kind of as a way to cope with it. It's there was nothing I could do to help her other than be a caregiver to her. But I started fundraising first for the Alzheimer's Association and quickly became one of the third fundraisers in the whole nation. And then I decided I wanted to do a little more and started kind of pulling together support groups of women. And it just seemed like everybody I knew was affected in some way, whether it was a grandparent, a parent, or a friend. So we started this group called Daughters Against Alzheimer's, and we created an event called Battle for the Brain, and it's just a really fun event that brings together the whole community. And Julie was there last year, and you know, it's really just a fun event. Everyone who's who in Atlanta gets on stage and they lip sync, and we have, you know, judges. They go all out. I mean, the costuming and makeup it's like a Broadway show, and it's a fun way to reduce the stigma of Alzheimer's, but also raise awareness. But we raised, you know, our last event raised $620,000, and it all goes to research, which we now put everything to research because I think that's going to be the finish line. And I think as we have, you know, gone through the years leading this cause, it's really given me a way to deal with what happened to my mom and also help others. And it feels so good to give back that, you know, it's just become my, you know, number one passion, and I want to keep fighting until we find a cure. So.
That's amazing, Michelle. That's really amazing. We're going to talk more about that too. But I have another question before we sort of get into that. So it's not really easy to start doing something new that you've never done before. And I think it can be a little scary. What advice would you all give to other people who are considering, you know, doing something kind of different and new in this second half of their career?
I would say this second half, you should definitely follow your passion. And that's just going to make it powerful. And this is the time, you know, if you have had a family and raised kids, that you can really focus on that. And would you agree, Julie?
Yeah, I would. I mean, you know, I think the thing about the second half is by now you know to trust your gut a little bit more than you did. Maybe you were trying to hit a certain goal. And I think as we get older, we realize that, you know what, we gotta go for it, or you know, I don't know that we're gonna, you know, reach the potential that we kind of thought we would. So I think we've learned. I think as you get older, sometimes failure is winning. So try and fail, and you still win. And you know, kind of like what I said in politics. I've said this so many times. It's such a terrible thing to say, but sometimes in life you do put your butt out the window. You know, there's no other way. So, yeah.
Okay, wait, Julie, I'm sorry. For some reason, it's kind of coming in and out. Is it coming in and out for you guys?
Yeah, it's a little.
Am I supposed to? You want me to hold it?
It's not your video; it's your audio.
Okay. Maybe I just hold it.
That sounds a little better to me. Does it, Michelle, to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I heard you say something out the window and I didn't hear what was going out the window.
I don't think he wanted to.
Did you get bloopered, censored or something?
Maybe I did. No, I just think, you know, you have to be brave enough to, you know, be able to fail and be okay with that, because that is part of the lesson I think we learn as we get older.
Yeah. Okay, that sounded so much better, Julie. I heard you that time. Okay. So, Michelle, question for you. How did you decide to sort of start your own nonprofit as opposed to working on, like you said, you started working for the the National Alzheimer's Association. Can you talk a little bit about that thought process?
Yeah, I think, you know, we had this idea for this event, and everybody else has their own events already, and they weren't really willing to, they were willing to help us, but, you know, we wanted free reign. We knew this was going to work, and we knew it was going to be great, but we also needed to have the freedom to make the event the way we wanted and have it at the venue we wanted and have the kind of food we wanted, sell the tickets the way we want to do it, work with the community the way we wanted to. So it wasn't a cut and dry thing. It kind of happened over a couple of years, but we finally decided to become our own nonprofit 2 years ago, started the process about a year before that. We were first an LLC, so we sort of eased into it, but now it's just so great because we were able to pick our beneficiary, and we support Emory's Boyce Weta Alzheimer's Disease Research Center, which is right here in town, but also one of the leaders, not only locally, but nationally and internationally as a true research center. They get some of the biggest NIH funds in the country, and we give them the unrestricted research dollars to work on early diagnostics, which is going to go hand in hand with some of the treatments that are just on the horizon. And to be able to have the freedom to make those choices and really research where we want our money to go has been really key for us. So I don't know if that answers the question.
Yeah, no, that helps. Yeah, it was sort of an evolution. Okay, I've never done this on the show, so we're going to see if this works. I'm going to try to play a video, and then I have a question about the video. So just 1 minute.
Alzheimer's disease has probably touched you or someone you care about. Sadly, it connects us all, but we believe we can use those connections.
Okay, I'm sorry, it's not working. Let me... Okay, I'm not quite sure how to fix it. Oh, wait, it is maybe working. Let me try again.
Alzheimer's disease has probably touched you or someone you care about. Sadly, it connects us all, but we believe we can use those connections to beat Alzheimer's. 6 million Americans are diagnosed with Alzheimer's. 47 million more are undiagnosed because they show no symptoms. Yet, the disease costs taxpayers $20 million.
Okay, I'm completely bummed because it's not working. So what we'll do is I'll put in the post description the link to the video that you sent me, Michelle, so that people can watch both of the videos you sent me. But what the video talks about is the Daughters Against Alzheimer's setting a goal to cure Alzheimer's by 2025. And I think that's such an amazing goal. How do you sort of think through this goal, especially during a pandemic, and approach it?
Really aligned with the NIA, the National Institutes of Aging's goal, which they've set a line in the sand saying we have got to have a treatment for Alzheimer's and dementia by 2025. So we've kind of piggybacked on that just to have a goal, and Daughters Against Alzheimer's wants to raise at least $10 million by then. We're new, we've raised about $1.5 million, and just now getting our momentum going. And that campaign was Join the Cause, C-A-L-Z, for Cure Alz. And it was just asking 6 million Americans to all give $20.25 for a couple of reasons. I think that's pretty doable. And if everyone donates, we can raise so much funds for research. And the other reason is most people don't realize that Alzheimer's is a fatal disease. And really trying to drive that home that we've really got to find a treatment soon. It's kind of known as the silver tsunami. It is the costliest disease in the United States, and most people don't realize that. And 1 in 3 Americans die of it. So I think it's been very under estimated, and the funding has just been so much lower than cancer and heart disease. And so it was really an awareness campaign to try to drive home that we've got to find a cure by 2025.
Yeah. I had no idea it was 1 in 3. I mean, I certainly know a lot of people that have been impacted by Alzheimer's as well, but I had no
Some
idea.
statistics will say 1 in 6, but the problem with that is Emory has told us it's more like 1 in 3 because, for example, if you have Alzheimer's and you end up dying from choking, then the cause of death goes on, your death certificate is choking instead of Alzheimer's. So even on, that sounds horrible talking about that, but it really is.
It's, yeah, that's terrible. So I think at this stage of our life, a lot of us are caring for parents and older relatives. If we have concerns about a family member that might have Alzheimer's or dementia, or do you have advice on sort of how our generation can help either in detection or just any advice for people that maybe haven't had direct, that kind of knowledge to know what to do?
Yeah, so if you start seeing changes in a loved one, whether it's friend or family, definitely get to a neurologist as soon as you can to have a cognitive test done. And, that's one of the problems right now. The only way to truly tell if you have Alzheimer's is to have a brain PET scan or a spinal tap, which isn't what I want to go in and do for a quick doctor's test, but which is why we're working on blood tests and retinal scans just for routine tests starting at age 40 and up. But definitely get to a doctor, have a cognitive test. It's a fact that most people don't get diagnosed for at least 2 years because people start seeing changes that are disturbing, but or unsettling, but not so much that you would necessarily get help. And it's not losing your keys like we do half the time when we're in a hurry or misplacing the coat. It's when you find your keys in the refrigerator or you can't remember how to open your car door. And I think you're probably aware that one of our sorority sisters was diagnosed at age 49, Lisa Jones, and we're fighting for her too. And every age is no one's immune to this disease. It's happening younger and younger, 40s, 50s, 60s. It's not just in what people would think of as an old person's disease. It's we're all in this together. So, but definitely go to a neurologist.
Yeah. Well, that's really impressive, all that you've done for Alzheimer's and Alzheimer's research. I do have some questions for Julie as well. So Julie, you mentioned that you recently ran for and won a county board seat. I don't think many of the people watching have had the experience of running in an election. Can you talk about what that was like?
I mean, it's going to take longer than the end of the show, Wendy. No, it's every. Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, I can hear you okay. It was a little better before, but yes, I can hear you okay. Yeah.
Okay. I'll get a little closer. But basically every emotion you can imagine. I mean, there's highs and there's lows, and it's a lot of work. You have to learn to, make a website, advertise on social media, have parties, join community events, get to know people, know the issues, know why you want the job. I mean, it is not easy to knock on someone's door, a stranger's door, and say, will you sign, for me so I can run for something? And, then you do it again and again and again to try to get support. So it is, it's intimidating. I'm not going to lie. But you know what, the rewards are wonderful. You can help people. Like I said before, I did not think I would win. But I'm very proud that I was able to win a seat and been able to do some great things. Like I said, our county is bigger than 6 different states. So we've got a lot of responsibility during the COVID. Really gotten a chance to spend a lot of federal dollars into really great programs that I think maybe if I had not won, I don't know that we would have covered some of the same ground. able to push a lot of money into food pantries, a lot of money into mental health. I had an initiative we spent $1 million for low-income kids to get internet service when everyone was going on Zoom. And, some of these people, they just don't have, the capabilities that we would have. It's been a great job. And I would really encourage anyone who's interested in running. It is intimidating, of course. People don't like to ask other people for money, but you will be surprised, how it all goes down. And it's like I said, it's so very worthwhile. And if you don't want to run for something, maybe get involved in a campaign. In school board, county board, state house race. I mean, there's so many different ways. If you want to kind of dip your toe and see if maybe this is something you might want to do, I would definitely, encourage. Women are still underrepresented, and I think we have a lot to bring to the table. I mean, we are mothers. We are the boots on the ground. We know what's going on in our families. We know what's going on with our parents. I mean, we just, we tend to be in tune with many different things, women, right? So
it has to have been a very, very interesting year to be in government. I mean, it's been an interesting year, period, but interesting year to be in government. So talked a little bit about this before, but what advice, other than sort of volunteering, or do you have any other advice for women that might want to go into politics? Do you feel like they need a law degree, or?
No, I don't think you need a law degree at all. No, I mean, I think that's kind of a old time kind of a thing. I mean, it does help me a lot because our packets are thousands of pages, long, and I can get through stuff pretty quickly. But I would just say, first of all, if you think you might want to do it, build a coalition. Reach out to your friends. Like, my college friends were great just in supporting me and giving me confidence. My neighbors and friends were great, and they tell two friends and they tell two friends and that kind of a thing. I mean, you would be surprised, how fast the stone starts rolling. I would say, don't be afraid to speak up. If you are if you're running for office, or if you are, you've made it into office, I mean, speak up. Don't be afraid to be the smartest person in the room. You might be, so speak up. And I would say, I say to my colleagues, you're braver than you think. So it's, important. Everyone has a voice. Some bad things are going to happen. I've had, negative campaigns, TV ads against me. And, I think the kind of thinking is, if maybe there's something, there's not something good there, maybe they wouldn't be taking aim so hard. Right? So, you got to put it all in perspective.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, okay. So one other question, is there, because I really don't know a lot about government, like, is there a type, you mentioned a lot of different, Board of Education, like, roles. Is there a good, like, beginner role to sort of run for, or really it's where your interests lie?
I think it's where your interests lie. I think a lot of, especially women, tend to go for school board first because they think that's, they know kids, they know the issues. But I think those are hard positions too, just because they feel closer to you. I don't know that's a better place to start. Maybe town government. I mean, I went right to county government because.
Did we lose her?
We lost her. Okay, I'm sure she'll come back. So while she's not here, I'm going to ask you a question, Michelle. So do you have, you mentioned you have 3 kids. Do you have any advice for balancing work, like your work and your life, especially because now you have your work, your Daughters Against Alzheimer's work, and family. So do you have any?
My advice, I think if I still had kids in the home, I would not be able to run as hard as I do now because I do have a full-time job and a full-time job as, a director of this nonprofit. And depending on where we are in the fundraising year, I don't get a lot of sleep. So if I had to go home and, do carpools and make dinner, I would definitely need help. And I think it's okay to ask for help if you are, juggling too many plates. But and I think it is fun for my kids now to see me doing this and be so passionate about it. She's back.
Yeah.
Um, and kind of speaking to what Julie said and speaking up. I mean, I think there were so many years of my life where I didn't speak up and I didn't find my voice, and now I feel like I have it and it's okay to use it. And the other thing I'll reference that she said is kind of asking for money. I think, 10 years ago, I wouldn't be comfortable asking for money, but well, I will say a lot of people run when they see me coming because I'm going to ask you for money. but because, the more money we save, with our events and raise, it all goes to such a great cause. But I think the truth is people want to give. They just don't want to necessarily lead the cause. And if they have a leader that they know is passionate and standing up for them, I think it just comes. I honestly don't think I have had anyone say, "Oh no, I don't want to help this cause." I mean, that's probably, you find that too, Julie. I mean, people are so supportive. I mean, we have such great communities, and I think once you find that voice, don't be afraid to use it, and don't be afraid to fail either.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So Julie, I had asked Michelle if she had any tips or advice on balancing work and life, and Michelle had mentioned that her children are grown up, and I think yours are as well. So it may be balancing like your commitments to work and taking care of yourself is maybe a better way to put it. But do you have any tips?
No, does anybody else have any tips? I think it's incredibly hard for women, and I will say, choosing a job in politics. I mean, during the week you do your work and you do the things that need to get done. Nights and weekends are politics, so it's kind of a dual role. I got to say, through COVID, it's been kind of nice to do more Zooms versus driving somewhere to do an event, speak, tour, whatever, and then come back. So, it's a work in progress. I'm sure my husband, would wish I would do a little bit better job at that. So,
We can all aspire. Yeah, it's a tough one. Okay, so do you all have a favorite like saying or mantra that like keeps you going, or that you really like to reflect on?
I do have one actually. I can't really say it. It's Lakota Sioux. It's like Matoi Kaye Oisen, and it's basically we are all connected. And I just think it's so important to remember, we can disagree, but at the end of the day, we're all kind of going in the same direction. We need to root for each other as human beings, and we're also connected to nature. I just think it's so important. And I also have like a work mantra. And that is, I'm a big Paul Wellstone fan. He was a former senator from Minnesota. And it's when we all do better, we all do better. And I really think that has been the commitment that I've had to, let's take a look at everybody. If everybody can feel better, do better, then I think it's just better for all of us.
Yeah. Those are great ones, Julie. Okay, Michelle, no pressure. Do you have a favorite?
This is stressful and hard.
Okay, well then don't. This is not meant to be stressful and hard. This is supposed to be fun. So you can say no, Wendy, I don't.
I may be misquoting this, but I really look up to Sarah Blakely as a leader for women and business. And I think she said something like, it's great to have something where you earn money and can be independent, something to live out your passion, which would be my nonprofit, and then something, for health. And I may have that wrong, and I apologize if I do, but I think that's what I really try to balance my life with, those three things. In fact, after this, I'm going straight to the gym.
Okay, good. That's awesome. Okay, well, this has been great. Is there any other advice you would want to pass along? No pressure, no stress. Don't worry about it.
Well, I think just what we said, don't be shy. You know, if there's something you want to do, I mean, look at you just starting this LinkedIn Live series. I mean, in your second half, I mean, do something fun. And even if it may start small, but you have no idea what the possibilities are, and, you know, find that voice. And
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Oh, wait, Julie, I can see your lips moving.
Julie, we can't hear you.
Oh, it's the darn mute. Sorry.
There you go.
Such the
Does this mean anything to you?
yeah, I know. Sorry. Yeah, I say support your girlfriends, support women. I think it was my pleasure to go with so many of us that went to Michelle's daughter's thing last February. I wish we could do it again this year. Just being able to support Lisa through all her struggles, being able to support your program here. It's great. Feels good and help each other.
Well, and I do really, really appreciate you all coming on the show, because you all did not have to do this. I know y'all are both really busy, so it means a lot, and I really appreciate it. I will put in the links, the videos, Michelle, that I couldn't play. But if people want to get in touch with either one of you, what is the best? Is it to connect with you on LinkedIn? Is it come through me, or if people wanted to talk to you further?
Yeah, LinkedIn is fine. Instagram, the DM, which I'm really old, but I have learned what DM means. Direct messaging. So, you can email me. It's michelle@daughtersagainst.alz.org. You're welcome to put that in your link. And I'm here. You can hit me up anyway. And I'm learning technology more than I want to know, like websites, back offices, software, social media. But
Awesome.
Yeah, same. All my people. LinkedIn is fine. My work address is julie.renehan@dupagecode.org. If anybody is interested in talking about how to get started or whatever, I'm happy to.
Okay, awesome. I'm going to ask you, sorry, Julie, to say that email one more time, because you kind of came in and out.
Julie.renehan@dupagecode.org.
Perfect. I heard that. Okay, awesome. Thank you all so much. I really, really appreciate it. And lots of good advice, and both very inspirational stories. So thank you for sharing yours.
Thanks, Wendy.
thank you. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.